Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm working on our trim and baseboards specifically right now, and needing to come up with a way to do a craftsman style corner block when we have an inside corner. I'm using 5.5-inch baseboards that are 5/8 inch thick. And so I was trying to find out a way to make myself a lot of inside corner blocks. So this is the block I've made for all of our inside corners. So it's 5/4 lumber material, all right? So I've got a lot of this left over from doing my headers. So this material sits like this, then a 1x2 sits on top of this, laying flat to get that craftsman style look. Because I used a lot of this material to make my headers, I had a lot of little short scraps left over like this. All right. And so, by the way, 5/4 inch material or 5/4 material is really basically like 1.125 thick. Let me measure that to be exact here. Measure that out. All right. This one actually, because I had this custom milled, I actually asked him to make this 1.116. So this is a real nice thick board, and when I run it through my table saw at 1.16, I can of course get this to be square. The way I get them to be really square, as a matter of fact, and not have one piece left over at the end, which is a little too wide to be a square, is I actually set my table saw at 1.125. And so that little bit of discrepancy between the saw blade width and the 3.5 width of this board gets me 3 equal cuts. And then I just chop them down on my chop saw here to get my corner blocks. All right, so as you can see, I've got here a bunch of them. My son Caleb was out here really going crazy on the corner blocks, because after you cut these up, you got to sand all the edges down and then the top edges down. And so what we've done is we typically just take this Makita sander here, which has a flat bottom, and I'll just clamp this to my workbench upside down using one of these squeeze clamps here. All right, so I just squeeze it down, and then since this is sitting upright like this, you can just sand right on top of it, almost like a benchtop sander. So it's my little quick way of making a benchtop sander. So 5.5 inch baseboard here. Here's a cutoff. Okay, so there's my baseboard. And then if I had an inside corner, that's how that would look. Straighten that. Okay, so what's nice about this is it gives that little reveal right there. It's actually a little more than 1/8 of an inch, but you get this nice edge right here sticking out from the corner. And then if you had another corner coming up here, that's how that would look. And I'll show you some inside pictures here, but there you go. That's the mock-up. Okay, and I think that looks pretty nice for an inside corner. Instead of having to miter or butt joint them, that looks pretty cool. So the measurement on this, by the way, on this, the length of this, let's check it out and see what we have. Looks like we've got 6 inches. So I'm a 1/2 inch taller than the base, okay? And it turns out looking really cool. It's just enough sticking up in the corner where you kind of see it, but it's not obnoxiously tall and kind of fancy looking. It's real plain, and the contour into the corner, I don't think it draws any attention to it. It's just enough that you notice it. So yeah, 1.125 corner blocks made from 3.5 inch wide, or 1x4 typically, 5/4 material out of the stubs of my headers. has turned out to be a great way to make my corner blocks. In the Craftsman style, I know that there's a lot of different thoughts on corners. Like for me, on my outside corners, I'm doing mitered corners. So of course it's a little more timely. I could make outside corner blocks where I remove, you know, one corner off of this edge here. And I could do that by setting my table saw down to about maybe 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, remove the 1/4 to 3/8 on this side, remove it on this side, which gives me a little channel to put this on the outside corner. We had outside corner blocks in our last house, and honestly, they got hit by the vacuum cleaner, by people's shoes here and there, just enough that by the time we were a year or two in to having those outside blocks installed, I was kind of thinking, man, that was kind of a mistake. We should have just, you know, kept the baseboard close to the wall and not had anything protruding out. So yeah, so here are some pictures of our trim. The baseboards are coming along really nicely. We're gonna do a video on window and door trim next, and also show you how we stained and polyed all these boards. And you're gonna be surprised because we actually didn't use stain. All right, so check out that video where we kind of bring you through the process of how we finished our trim. I'll give you a little sneak hint here. It was not smelly. It was not messy. As you can see, our garage floor, even though it's got toys and all kinds of stuff everywhere, it's not full of stain. And we did not use any drop cloths or anything to put on our finish. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. And my wife, Ashley, is also going to get in there and kind of show you what she did, because she did 90% of the finishing of all the trim. And it really just turned out great. This alder just looks awesome finished. It's got a nice kind of satin sheen to it. And I think it's looking really nice next to our hardwood. So thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you being on the channel. Tell your friends to subscribe, because our hope is that this channel is just a helping hand to any of those people out there doing home improvement projects, building a house, finishing trim, doing all kinds of things like we are in the house to bring it to the finishing stage where we can finally be in our house and look around and relax. Because right now we're busy at work. All right, good to see you all. Yeah, please subscribe, like our videos, comment, like all that stuff, just to keep our channel active and like a little community of good friends. All right, take care. This is Glenn, and this is all about our house. We appreciate you being with us. Take care.